I grew up in a family in which conflict was almost never expressed openly.
Mm-hmm.
Or if it was expressed openly, it was never connected with anger. In other words, I was an only child. My parents never raised their voices.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's actually literally true. And so when I began to get out of the home and ran into people who expressed anger, I had two kinds of reactions. One is I felt a sort of fear, and the other is I often felt sorry for the people expressing anger out of a belief that they didn't know how to handle life, or they didn't know how to handle a situation. And I had some sort of a feeling that it was inappropriate often to express anger.
Mm-hmm.
And so and part of this is a real aversion to conflict that I had, I assume, because of my family life. So I became really interested in conflict and why people get into conflict. My mother was always oriented toward the idea that everybody's nice and everybody likes you, that sort of thing. And so I became really intrigued with the issues of how people get into conflict, and I decided that a lot of it was from miscommunications. And I somehow undertook to learn as much as I could, and I felt some impulse to try to help other people and to help myself. If everyone would just be nice, we wouldn't have any trouble, was what I was thinking. If people would just understand themselves and each other, we wouldn't have all this craziness that goes on in the world. It was something like that. I had some idea that I could contribute in some way. So that's roughly the response.
You do or you don't still hold that notion?
Well, I now hold the no, I don't. I hold the notion that sometimes conflict is from miscommunication, but that there are many, many causes, and it can vary. But I still hold with part of the notion, the deeper part of the notion, which is that if people really understood themselves well enough and understood others well enough, there'd be very little of violent conflict, and there'd be much less other kinds of conflict.